everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Happy Thursday, I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far, and thank you so much for joining me here today. We're back, we're building in Copperdale. Yes, I know I've built on this lot before, but I love this lot, what can I say? So we are back, we're building here again in autumn, and we are building a warm, cozy, 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom family home. And I do apologise in advance if any of you follow me on any of my social medias. You'll know that I'm not very well at the moment. I'm just getting over, I'm going to say COVID, because that is what I've had. Unfortunately, I tested positive on Monday and I'm not feeling great at the moment, but I really wanted to be able to share this house with you all. So if I sound a bit raspy, I do apologise. That's the only time I'm going to mention it within this voiceover, so not to panic. But I'm fine, everything's okay. I'm just a little bit tired and a little bit raspy. But hopefully you'll be able to sit through this with me and we can enjoy each other's company. But anyway, yes, currently working on the exterior of this lovely house here, and I love how this house turned out. I love the colour schemes that we decided to go for, everything. I even used the windows from Seasons, which are windows that I don't tend to use very often. I'm not entirely sure why this is. Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it. It's been a long time since I've used these windows within a build, but I thought they worked really well with this lovely, lovely warm house. And we use a lot of warm brick. The windows are obviously this lovely warm wood tone, and the interior may surprise you. You may be thinking, well, it's going to be really traditional and warm and cozy, right? Wrong, it's not. It's something completely different, so wait till you see the interior of this house. But I do end up pairing this lovely warm brick with this sort of pale green panelling from the base game, which is not a panelling that I tend to gravitate towards very often, just because I think it looks a little bit, I don't know, wishy-washy, too pastel-y sometimes. However, if you pair it with the right brick or siding or roof line, roof pieces, roof trim, whatever, I think you can make it look really wonderful. And what I wanted to put forward with this house was like this rustic, sort of cozy, family-friendly element. And I'm hoping we achieved that with this. I think we did. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments down below of this house. I feel like it's slightly different from my usual style of house. Again, please let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with that. But I feel like, I mean, I actually told this to my friend, so just bear with me a second. If you don't already know Miss Simrina is one of my very, very good and close friends, and she is an incredible builder. And I sent her a screenshot of this house, and I said, I feel like I'm channeling my inner Miss Simrina with this. I don't know whether it's the color scheme or whether it's like the general shape, but I did work from a reference image for this house. I'll put it on screen for you now, if I can remember where it is. It's currently saved in a folder somewhere on my computer, but I'm not entirely sure which folder it's in, so I'm hoping that will have already appeared on screen for you. So I was going off that for this sort of generic shape of the house, but I feel like it's the color scheme. I feel like I'm channeling my inner Miss Simrina, and I'm kind of loving it as well. So I've already told her this. Anyway, I digress. So now the landscaping's coming together really nicely. We're currently putting some flower boxes outside from the base game. We do end up changing these. I cannot remember if I do it on camera or off camera. I'm not entirely sure. Me and flower boxes, I have a very love-hate relationship with them, because whilst all of my houses, and I mean all, having said that, I am looking at some screenshots of my builds right now, and there is one house that I've built in the last 2 weeks, and it was my haunted house. I'll put it in the right hand corner for you now. If you want to check it out, I'll put the card up there for you. I did not use any flower boxes in that build in the end. Now, whilst I'm saying this, 99% of my houses include flower boxes. This was no exception, and I end up switching them out so much, so I did it off camera. So I ended up settling on these ones from, I believe they're from Discover University, in this lovely sort of like pale grey swatch with like the deep green foliage, and I thought it worked really, really well with the colour scheme that we were going for. Anyway, we're currently finishing up the landscaping. As you can see, we fenced out probably the smallest back garden that you could possibly imagine is what this house has, so I do apologise for that. hopefully the house in general makes up for it, but the back garden is almost non-existent. It may as well not be there, if I'm being completely honest. All that I end up putting in there is like a garden table with some chairs and an umbrella and then a barbecue and then some sort of decorating landscaping pieces to make it look a little less barren. But yes, that's what I ended up doing on the outside. As you can see, we've very briefly moved on to the inside just to try and sort out the downstairs floor plan. So as I said, this is 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. One of the bathrooms is on the ground floor, and then there are 2 further bathrooms on the upper floor as well. And I've just realised how raspy I sound. I don't know whether I should have waited to do this voiceover or not, but this is real life. This is currently what I sound like, and do you know what? It is what it is. I'm hoping that it's palatable for you all. I'm not saying my voice is soothing or anything like that on a good day, but it's definitely better than it is right now. Anyway, the first room that we end up working on is the living room, and I end up using these sofas from the Desert Lux kit. I think that's what the kit's called. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but these sofas I thought worked so well with this house, and what I wanted to achieve with this house was a warm, cozy feeling. However, it also has a slight modern contemporary twist as well. So maybe the family that lives here, they've done some renovations and sort of brought it back up to date, but they've kept the exterior of the house very true to its own style. Does that even make any sense? Probably not, but it's okay because I know what I mean. Anyway, the living room is a very awkward shape and it has a bay window in it as well. Now, if you're returning to the channel, you know that me and bay windows, we have a very, again, love-hate relationship. I can either make them work really well or they don't work at all. So I don't know what I would class this as. I think I would class this as I can kind of make it work. It's also a little bit awkward at the same time, but it's okay. I think this weird sort of, I don't know, cluster of items kind of works in this bay window. And yes, I did just have to pause to take a break because I was sounding really raspy. So you'll notice that a couple of times throughout this voiceover, and it's just to make it a little bit more palatable for you all. Anyway, so I actually end up loving the living room. I end up using a fireplace from the Cottage Living pack, which I think works really, really well. Again, keeping a very traditional base, i.e. the walls, the floors, and then things like the fireplace, but then also giving it a really nice sort of uplifted twist. I think that probably describes it quite well. So this is what I end up doing with this space over here. I put this fireplace here, and then over in the right hand corner there, I believe I put a beanbag chair, and then also something else in the corner, which I can't exactly remember, which is really weird because I only did this a couple of days ago and my memory is clearly shocking. So anyway, it doesn't matter. So I ended up putting a couple of decorative pieces on top of the fireplace as well, just to make it look a little bit more homey, a little bit cozier. Yes, we used the bookshelf from the Cats and Dogs pack. Yes, I did not know I used that, but I think it looks really nice. So that's what I ended up putting in this corner here. I think it's just a really good use of all the space whilst maintaining the main focal point of the room around the bay window. I think it works really, really well. And keeping this lovely sort of rich, dark chocolate brown colour scheme with pops of, I don't know, like creamy beige and then plants and things like that. I just think it works really, really well. And then this is the dining room here. It's exactly the same shape and size as the living room because it's basically an exact replica but at the back, and then just split down the middle. I could have kept this open plan, but then I figured because it's a more traditional house, I feel like whilst the family have probably done some amendments and sort of upgrades in the house as they've lived here, I think also they've probably kept the main structure, because if you have a look, there's actually a fireplace on either side of the wall. Now realistically, would you want to knock that wall down and remove those fireplaces? I wouldn't. I mean, some people would, but not me. So I think, again, just keeping some of the traditional pieces in here and then adding some contemporary twists, I think it just works really, really well. And then again, trying to utilize some of the spaces and corners and nooks and crannies within the house too. Even if it just means throwing a chair down there and adding some decorative pieces, I think it just works really, really well. Although I did forget to add some decorative items to the fireplace in the dining room for some unknown reason. I remembered to do it in the living room and not the dining room. I don't know why I did that. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So I actually really like the dining room. I seem to be adding dining spaces a lot more often to my builds, and I love that I'm doing that because I think it's a room that can often be overlooked. Anyway, this is the kitchen. I do end up using these counters from the, what's it called? Cool Kitchen stuff pack. I think I haven't used these counters in so long, but again, trying to keep the same vibe with the rest of the house, I thought they worked really, really well, especially in this swatch because they don't quite match the flooring, but it kind of works, you know. You might disagree, you might think this is the most hideous kitchen ever, I don't know. It's not my best kitchen, but again, because of the unusual shape, I was just trying to make it work, and I think I did it. I also paired some of the items from the new Desert Lux kit. Again, I just think it adds that sort of contemporary twist, modern twist to the house, and just sort of keeps everything flowing and makes everything sort of match. And then I keep forgetting about these logs that came with the werewolves pack in like the little, I don't know what, like log holder, I suppose you would call it. So I ended up putting them next to the fireplace in the living room just for a little bit of realism, a little bit more clutter, because we know I love adding clutter to my builds, and this is no exception. Although I think I've been toning back recently. I spoke about this a little while ago now, and I think I've been toning back on the clutter in my builds. You'll have to let me know if you agree or disagree with that, but I think I'm trying to make them more gameplay friendly is what I was trying to say. You'll have to bear with me, my brain's not working as it normally does. Anyway. Gameplay friendly, so you'll have to let me know if you agree or disagree with that. Then what I end up doing in some of these corners of the kitchen, I call them awkward corners, like when I don't really know what to put there, I call them awkward corners or awkward spaces, and they're spaces that or spaces on the wall, such as this one, where I don't quite know what to put there, and so I end up just throwing something completely random down. Anyway, this kitchen seemed to be full of them, but I do love the sofa that we used from the high school years pack just in front of the window there. It's the black swatch with like the pale blue throw over the side. I thought that looked really nice. And then I just finished the kitchen off with some clutter items, and then we move on to the downstairs bathroom. This is a full bathroom. With my downstairs bathrooms, I sometimes make them just toilets, so a toilet and a sink. Sometimes I make them full bathrooms. This is a full bathroom. It has a shower, a toilet and a sink, full bathroom. And the two toilets upstairs, the ensuite from the main bedroom, and then the main bathroom upstairs as well. I believe the main bathroom has a shower tub combination, and then the ensuite has a shower. Anyway, I don't know why that's relevant. It's probably not. But we've already done that, and now we're moving on to this really awkward hall space. And what I decided to do here was add a working desk, so like it's got like a family computer on it, which I think works really well when you consider there's probably gonna be maybe 4 Sims in this house. That was probably what I was envisioning, and so it's nice for them to have a family computer space down here. And I'm gonna be honest, what else could I have done with this space? Really? This is a genuine question, because I'm not the best at filling spaces with the most logical items, I suppose you could say. So anyway, I think it looks really nice though. It's a really nice throughway. There's not too much going on, but there's enough for your Sims to keep themselves occupied, and I think it just works. I think it works really, really well. And then I also add some items from the high school years pack onto the wall, such as the certificates and things like that. And then I do duplicate these base game canvases that we've also got in the living room, just on this wall here. Now, I envisioned that this family had some sort of pet. I was thinking a small dog or a cat. And then I realized that I added the bed and did not add a pet bowl to the kitchen. So if you do download this house and you have a pet, then you will need to add a pet bowl. If you don't have a pet, then you will need to remove the pet bed from the office space. That's my advice. Anyway, now as you can see, we've moved up onto the upstairs of the house where the 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms are. This is the main bedroom of the house. I love the colour scheme that I ended up going for here. It's like warm chocolate browns with hints of like a mint green colour, which I thought worked really, really well and was in keeping with the rest of the house as well. And these curtains that came with the Desert Looks pack, they're incredible. I love them so much, and it's so nice to see the items from that pack being used in a suburban house setting, and it just shows you how versatile those items can be in different settings. Anyway, there's not too much going on in this main bedroom. I do end up adding a chair, a lamp, and then like a basket of blankets to the bay window area, because as you can see, 4 of the rooms of this house have a bay window, and I was trying to think of things that I can add into the bay window. So both the bedrooms on either side have a chair in them. This is the second bedroom that we work on. I envisioned a older child or teen living in here. No specific gender, but that's the sort of age group that I was aiming for with this room. There's a lot of dark woods mixed with blacks, reds, hints of blue, and then various other colours as we start pulling in some of the posters from the high school years pack. I love how mismatched this bedroom is. It's very colourful, it's fun, and I love that there's no specific gender in mind for this either, so you can move any sim in here that you so wish. And I also love that I also did the same thing in the other room, and I added like this cheap base game sort of box TV in here, because maybe the family have like handed the TVs down to the kids or something, like, and they've just said, right, you can have a TV in your room, it's not going to be state of the art, but here's an old TV, and the kids are just completely happy with that. I also added some clutter items onto the floor to make it look a little bit more lived in, a little bit more realistic too, because as we all know, children and teens aren't necessarily known for being the most tidy of Sims and or people. So I thought I'd add a touch of realism there. And then we do move on to the final bedroom of the house. I love the colour schemes that I ended up going for with this particular bedroom. I don't believe I've used this swatch of this bed as of yet, but I love that I've decided to finally use it, and I love that it's sort of forced me to use colour schemes that I wasn't necessarily comfortable using, or colour schemes that I wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards in the first instance. So I really, really like how this turned out. Again, a lot of clutter on the floor just to add touches of realism. This is the bay window, there's a lovely chair, there's like the egg chair from the high school years pack in here as well. And so my sort of thought process for this family was that it's parents and then 2 older children. But if you've got a different family dynamic and you want to download this house, then please make any changes that you feel necessary. If you've got toddlers or kids running around, add some bunk beds, add some toddler beds, whatever you need to do. It's quite versatile. So love how this room turned out. The colour scheme's fantastic, as I was just saying, and I love all of the clutter items that I decided to go with in this room as well. But I am going to start wrapping up here because I am losing my voice and I feel like I'm getting quite breathless. So thank you so much for bearing with me with this as well. I do appreciate it. But you can get this house from the gallery right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box below. You can get them for free from Sim File Share. But thank you so much everyone for joining me here today. You all take care, and I will see you next time I post a video. Bye!